Hello, we're excited to have you join us for a brand new series of 30-minute product knowledge sessions hosted by Dynamo Software's product and business teams. These exclusive sessions are all about giving you and your team valuable insights, practical tips, and a hands-on look at Dynamo's key capabilities and platform modules. Each session is tailored to focus on the software modules that matter most to your firm so you can get the most out of your Dynamo platform. It's a great opportunity to dive deeper, learn best practices, and really maximize the value of our tools at your fingertips. Today's session is focused on the power of portfolio monitoring and valuation, AI extraction, and Dynamo Data Automation. My name is Donna Parent, and I'm really happy to welcome you to today's session. And joining us in leading the session is Danielle Pepin and Henry Wadsworth. Our product guides will take you through a hands-on demonstration that will hopefully inspire you to want to learn even more. Today's knowledge journey begins now as Danielle kicks us off as we explore how PMV, AI extraction, and DDA can revolutionize portfolio management. We'll cover automated efficiency, AI-powered insights, actionable reporting, and performance optimization to save time, reduce errors, and drive smarter decisions. Danielle, would you like to discuss some of the key areas you'll be covering today?
Sure, thanks, Donna. Today, we're going to look at our new AI-powered extraction of data, as well as some data management tools and our updated user interface. And these new tools mean that you can spend more time on performance optimization, managing your portfolio, and less time just gathering data. On the next slide, we'll take a look at what that extraction process actually looks like. So, our new AI-powered extraction can be layered onto any of the workflows you currently use to gather portfolio monitoring data. And then once the document is in Dynamo, we automatically extract the data, process it through our calculation engine, and then if anything falls out due to poor formatting or if it's outside the variance tolerances, our human-in-the-loop team updates the files, and then the data is available in Dynamo for you to review. So it's as simple as that, but we wanted to actually show you in a demo what that looks like. So here, we're just in what we call our document hub, and we can see the document queue, previous uploads, and I've got a financial statement, end of year has just come in. So I pull that file. I've either gotten it through my email or it's on my desktop and put it into Dynamo. You can see Dynamo is already starting to tag it. It can see what portfolio company it's for. I'm going to add some additional tagging so you can add that throughout the way and save it down. So not only am I saving this document, but our AI extraction engine is going through and starting to pull the data out of it. And that can take a couple of minutes. We'll just open it up and you can see it has categorized it, it's started to tag it, and then it has extracted all data points in the document. So we've got a long PDF here, and then we've got every data point that our AI engine found in it. And then that could be submitted for approval and go through all of the normal approval processes. So it's fairly straightforward, and that's what it looks like if you're a Dynamo user and you're submitting it. We also open this up to our portfolio companies. We make it as simple as we can and print view. And I'll show what it looks like if a portfolio logs into our company portal in order to upload data. So now I'm in the seat of a CFO or a financial controller submitting data to my investors. And so I logged into the company portal. I can see I've been granted rights to submit data. And when I log in, this is all confidential, all secure information. Any documents I've previously uploaded are available, and I can see things published back to me. I can see the financials. So here I'm going to look at my 2025 financials. I'm ready to submit and finalize prior year. And so what I'm seeing is all the way up through November, and then I've extracted some financials into November, into December, but it's pending. And I can see all of the previous month, so I can see right away if there's anything that looks off, and if there isn't, I can just go into approval mode and start to approve that. Now, this one, I'm going to hand over the reins to Henry, and he can show what the rest of that data flow looks like once the data starts moving through Dynamo and what you're able to do with it on the other side.
Thank you, Danielle. I'm now logged in through the eyes of an approver, or perhaps a deal team member or finance team member who's received a notification that one of their portfolio companies or an internal team member has uploaded the data for a certain company. So I've logged in to Dynamo PMV. I've landed here in my monitoring hub. I also have down the left, as you can see, my valuation hub, my import hub, and my communications hub. But really here in the monitoring hub, I can see my portfolio, or this might be our total portfolio. It really depends on the permissions that you have set up. Will dictate the portfolio companies that each team member can see. Down here, I can see all of my portfolio companies, their financial status. So we can see here for the company Windrunner, one of the indications that Windrunner has data for approval is the financial status field here is tagged as pending approval. We can see the country, latest financials, investment data, total value data. You know, just like all the grids in Dynamo, this is all very flexible. We can drag and drop. We can right click, we can configure the totals of columns, we can bring in additional fields into our grid. A lot of flexibility when working with data within this type of view. But really what we want to do is get down into the portfolio company and review some of the financial data. So I could go and find the company in the list. I could go down into the map. You know, I could click on Windrunner, I could see where it is on the map. You know, go and click directly there to navigate down to the company. But I want to highlight the search bar. So I'm going to come up here, I'm going to look for Windrunner, type wind, run. And you can see within this search bar, I can not only find a portfolio company, I can see the contacts, I can even find and locate the securities for this company, or even the metric data. What I want to do is really just go down to the company level. And I land here directly on the financials tab for Windrunners. This is very similar, or really the same screen that Danielle was showing from the portfolio company portal, but now I'm seeing it from within the GP view or the deal team view within the company level. So as Danielle mentioned at the beginning, this is our all new data management screen. The purpose of this is to make it very easy to review and approve portfolio company financial data. This type of screen has become all the more important with the advent of AI extraction and the movement away from templates, because we really need to be able to easily see the data that's been uploaded, the changes that have been made, and also be able to make changes directly on the screen as well. So worth noting here that I have this edit mode, so I can come in, I can hit the edit mode on the screen and directly interact with the data on screen. I can make changes. I can even input new data. What this also highlights as well is the formula calculations within Dynamo PMV as well. You can see the bolded line items all calculated directly in Dynamo itself, with these data metrics being the entry and the lead up to that, all the way through the income statement in this example, all the way down through to net profit. I'm pretty happy with these numbers, so I'm going to cancel that, and I'm really going to go into approval mode. I'm going to select the month I want to approve, simply hit December and approval. Now, depending on the levels of approval that you have in place, will define what's going to happen next. Now, if there's an additional level of approval, perhaps the CFO has to give a final approval. You know, we're not going to see this data finalized. Or perhaps the final approvals land on the deal team. That's all flexible. That's all going to be defined by you guys during your implementation or through configuration of your existing setup. Now, worth noting as well within the data management screen, I can also upload financials. So if you're going to come and upload the budget or the forecast or any other dimension where you're uploading a whole year, perhaps you'll still be using a template for that type of data upload rather than the month-on-month AI extraction process. So data's been approved. I'm happy with the data for December 2025. It looks like we're still pending CFO approval on these numbers, but now we can go through the company level and we can start to talk and look at some of the other monitoring capabilities that we have within Dynamo PMV. So we have the profile screen here. This is giving me a great overview of the company, an initial look at the company, the sector, through to the total value. So here we do have investment and valuation data being calculated, depending on your deployment of PMV, whether you've gone for no valuation or valuation light or full valuation will define, what's driving these numbers. But ultimately, we're calculating that based on the transactions and the valuations in the system. Down here on the left, we have investment details. We have a map showing the two offices of Windrunners in this case, and then, very clearly revenue trend and EBITDA trend. As we know at this point, Dynamo is very flexible. All of this is drag and drop and can be defined in terms of how you guys want to see it, including the fields and the metrics you're showing in the metric cards, and down here in terms of the investment details. Moving through, here we have the activity browser. Now, a lot of portfolio monitoring use cases may only be interested in seeing approvals and updates of financial data through the activity browser. But we do have a lot of clients using this for kind of full CRM. As we know, CRM is available across Dynamo's platform and is almost inherent to the system and the module that you're using. So you could be tracking things like meeting notes as well, phone calls, emails using the Outlook add-in. Particularly if you're using Dynamo for pre to post investment, this becomes very valuable. And we have AI summarization in here as well, which is going to give you that kind of quick summary of a meeting note that you can even save as an activity as well. Next would be the financials tab that we've seen. We have initiatives that allow us to track things like project plans we have in place with the company. Perhaps we have hiring plans in here. Here is an ISO implementation we're looking at. We can track particular tasks and targets we may have tied to that initiative. But keeping on the financial monitoring track, here we have an Insights tab. So it's a view at key metrics for Windrunners. Here we have revenue, EBITDA, and then an EBITDA benchmark comparison. What we see here is a lot of clients will set up multiple tabs like this on the company level, which are going to perhaps be defined by the sector or the stage of the investment. Perhaps for energy companies, we like to look at a certain set of non-financial KPIs or whatever it may be. You guys can set it up. Down here, we have revenue, EBITDA, as mentioned, ability to go full screen on these, and the EBITDA benchmarks, essentially looking at actual EBITDA margin versus the portfolio average or even the sector average, should you have specific sectors in your portfolio and the portfolio not represent a good benchmark. Now, moving through into the snapshot here, this is our first example of a Power BI integrated within Dynamo. So we have multiple reporting options here at Dynamo. One of the ones we like to use sometimes is Power BI. This is fully integrated within the user interface. Comes with a lot of nice capabilities. Like if I open up this filter, I can choose the period, choose the area of the financial statement. I can add conversions, dimensions, comparisons. Here we can see, in this example, current month, actual performance versus budget, variance, prior year, variance, and then the same on a year-to-date and full-year basis. This can be PDF'd and printed should you want it as more of a deliverable report as well. Moving through into documents, all of the documents you're uploading from the financial process that Danielle showed will appear here, but also other key documents. Here I've got a business plan. We have these nice previews as well, so you can see a preview of the document without having to download. And you can see I've got various types of document here as well. Just finally, on the company level, in addition to the ability to access all fields and the audit log of data and valuation that we may discuss in future sessions, we did just want to highlight that you can track the full capital structure of the company as part of the valuation add-ons. I can see the full security profile, transactions into those securities, and then the latest valuations to those particular securities as well. All of these roll up to the security, then the company, and eventually the fund level to produce valuations and IRRs on different levels and layers in the portfolio. So we talked about the company level. Everything within here is designed to be fairly consistent across the team. But if a specific deal team member wants to do their own analysis, we do have ad hoc tools for building their own reports or dashboards in the system. This all really begins at the report builder, where I can build a custom search of data within the system. But I'm going to go down here into my reporting hub where eventually these reports land. So in here, my reporting hub, we have 3 examples. You can see that these are all personal reports. That means they've been built by me. But you're also going to be able to see your team reports in here, as well as company-wide reports that you have had saved on the admin level. I'll take one of these examples. Let's go and look at the earnings analysis. I'll just click in there and I move into a view or a report of Empower's revenue. Now, if I open up the edit report here, you can see how I originally built this. All it is a search for metric data where the dimension is actual, the company is Empower, and the metric is revenue. So you can really easily change the metric there and just flex the report to get a different output. In addition, if you were to select just all of the metric model or metric data for Empower, we could then use the filters to filter that into more detail as well. So plenty of options here when wanting to kind of build more ad hoc reports within the system, save them down, share them across the team. There's a lot of capabilities around these. So now coming back up into my monitoring hub, we've talked a bit about this already, but I just wanted to highlight an additional capability when working within a hub level is our preview capability. So if I took a preview of windrunners, we get this Insights tab. And that then means you can very easily cycle between companies. So maybe I wanted to look at this for Alpha Beta. So without having to actually drill down into these companies, I can run a quick comparison or a quick change between the companies. The company profile of Alpha Beta, what about windrunners? So a nice capability to really limit clicks here. Moving through, we can see as well at the top here, we have our portfolio financials. Here we are running a comparison of key companies, the sector they're in, the country, it's EBITDA versus revenue. Here we're looking at net debt growth. What if I moved into just revenue growth across the portfolio? We can see a different story with traffic light indicators to show us performance. And if I open up here into the driver of the report, I can change the date period, I can change the accumulation, I can change the metrics that I'm comparing. There's a lot of flexibility within this particular report. Up there, you'll also see the financial status, so which company is late, which company has uploaded, which company has not uploaded data. We can track fund information, which will be for a future session where we look more at fund analysis and fund reporting, but all available here within a single system. Now that pretty much draws a close to the financial monitoring side of things. We've gone through the data collection and the extraction of financial data using AI through to the approval and the monitoring. Just finally, setting us up here for future sessions, also have my valuation hub. In here we have valuation reports where we can really analyze NAV, different IRRs across the portfolio according to sector and fund. These types of performance grids allow a lot of flexibility for the user to group, slice and dice information in the ways that they want. As mentioned, we'll be spending more time on these in future sessions. Next month, we'll also be looking at our AI tools and the way we can use AI search to interact with our monitoring as well as our overarching portfolio data. That's everything we wanted to cover. Thank you everyone for joining. I'll be handing back to Donna.
Thank you, Henry, and thank you, Danielle, for some terrific insights there. Really appreciate the demonstration. I just want to let everybody know who's in attendance that there are handouts that are featured in today's session. You'll be able to download immediately our new PMV version 3.0 brochure, along with gaining access to a new white paper, Scaling for Success, where you'll learn more about unifying your operations and how to scale securely with Dynamo version 3.0. In addition, we are going to be selecting a winner from today's attendees who will receive an exclusive Dynamo swag box as a thank you for your participation today. The winner will be selected after today's session, and we will get in touch with you so that we can get your swag box delivered to you as soon as possible. In addition, as you exit today's session, there will be a short survey that will appear. We would appreciate any and all feedback that you might be willing to provide us with so that we can continue to improve our product knowledge sessions and make sure you're getting the most value out of these sessions as well. Thank you all for your interest and for participating in today's product knowledge session. And as Henry described, we hope to see you again next month as we continue this informational and educational series. Thanks again.